Good day, everybody. You're listening to the GearyCast, the Malaga fan podcast for all the Gearys out there. Merry Christmas to all. Feliz Navidad. I hope you've all had a wonderful time over the festive period. But we are back for one last episode of 2023, or the first episode of 2024, depending on what time you're listening to this, because it is New Year's Eve. But we are going to do our little mid-season review, have a little catch of what we've been doing over the festive period, and maybe just have a little look to a bit of Spanish football returning on the 2nd of January as well. But being joined by myself, Nick Bell, is the one and only Luke Chambers. Welcome, Luke.
Hey up, mate. Hope you've had a great Christmas yourself. I hope everybody out there's having a great Christmas and raring to go again. Let's get this show back on the road.
Exactly. Let's get back to the good ship, GearyCast. And then, last but not least, from location as well, possibly the most beautiful background we've ever had on this podcast, Chris Marquez, live from Benalmádena, Pueblo. Church or gardens? Where are you right now, Chris? It looks stunning.
Church, gardens, I think a bit of both. Why did you make me come and work today? This is
you
Luke
made
Chambers,
us come to
isn't
work.
it?
You're the boss,
No.
man. You made us come to work today.
Oh, yeah. Well, then you should work and I should be off. That's what bossmen do.
It should be the way. It should be the way. But
No, it's fun to be here. I
a
like
dizzy
a bit of work
18
today.
degrees, Chris, isn't it? Where you
It
are?
is. It is a bit warm here. Yes. Well, warm. What is warm? Warm is in summer, but now it's 20 degrees. I think.
5 degrees here
colder.
in Lancashire.
Oh no, then
Nick.
it's warm here.
Nick, do you think Chris is like? It looks like he's doing an interview on GMTV or something.
Yeah,
I am.
he's more in television.
Yeah. We are now.
we are very jealous. We are very, very jealous, Chris.
But let me tell. I'm going to be very honest here because the nights are a bit cold, and more if you don't have heating in your house, which I don't, and I think nobody does here. So the nights are a bit cold, but still fine.
See,
I
can
mean-
you not get the air conditioning that also turns into a heater? My mum and dad have just had that installed in their apartment.
My problem is I only have air conditioning in my bedroom, and I don't want to sit like the whole evening in my bedroom. So that's the thing a bit. Well, we are here, and it's a good life because I get to see Malaga every 2 weeks.
Exactly, not too far away from their return because Chris, you've got a ticket for the Copa del Rey game against Real Sociedad. Are you very much on the name on the trophy vibe now, Chris? Are we going to win it now that you're going to watch the game?
No, but now you come to a certain point. If you get past the 2 first rounds and then
He
you
loves
get the
it.
bigger
He
team.
loves it.
No, it's not that I
He
love it.
loves
But now
it.
you come to a point that you want to go to the next stage. But I still think the best thing would be to throw away the cup at the beginning. But now that you're in it and you're in the 3rd round, I'm not saying you have to go for it, but at least it would be nice if you get through another round.
I think it'd be great when we are all in Saudi Arabia for the Super Copa in 2025 or 2024, whatever it might be, after we win it and we go up against hopefully Girona as well because they've won the Liga for the first time.
If there is one thing, I'm not going there.
No, I can imagine. But I'm glad we've all had a nice bit of Christmas. There's not been too much news coming out of Malaga over the festive period. It's been quite quiet, really. But I suppose one big, huge headline is that it was announced yesterday that Lauren Zuniga and Malaga Club de Football decided to part ways. It sounded like very much a mutual separation. Chris, you've mentioned a few times that he is a high earner. He's supposed to be, Malaga's number 9, their leading striker, and it just hasn't worked out for him at all this season. He's been, I suppose it's not worked out for him over the last couple of seasons. Since he came through from Malagueño, he's not been the player we've expected him to be, has he?
Yes, and I can't really put the finger on where the problem is because if you look at his stats in the youth, he has some amazing stats. He played for Spain under 19, Spain under 21, I believe. It's really, really strange. And from what I've heard, if that nothing goes wrong, he's going to join Real Madrid Castilla.
Yeah,
which is insane.
Yeah.
I think that's been the big rumor for a while, hasn't it? Because I think that's been on the cards for not just recently, but a few seasons as well, Luke. Dare we say, has he been maybe a shadow of himself because he's been waiting for this move to Real Madrid Castilla, or do you think maybe he's just got a really good agent who's managed to bag him a move elsewhere for nothing?
Yeah, I think he's definitely got a perfect agent, and I think it's one what we would all love to have ourselves. But like Chris said, it's really hard to put your finger on why this has gone wrong. I mean, even if you look at our squad currently, his friends who he's played football with for the best part of whatever amount of years are all doing brilliantly in the Malaga first team. And he was meant to be the star boy of them eras, and it's just not worked out for him.
This is one of these players that will go somewhere else and then start scoring and don't stop scoring.
Yeah.
Well, we do
Because
play
the talent.
again the last game of the season, don't we, boys?
Yeah,
So,
that's the scary thing. That is the scary thing.
If we're being very honest, like, did he really get an opportunity this season? Because if you ask me, I think coming in every week or a lot of weeks in the 84th minute, I don't think you really can show a lot, do you?
I think maybe some of it is maybe his attitude in training. Something. I mean, like Nick said, was his head turned in the summer? We've all seen how Roberto's come on leaps and bounds. Surely Roberto and Lauren were on an even scale at the beginning of this. I mean, giving Lauren the number 9 shirt should have been huge for him. Maybe just not capitalised on it.
No, I 100% agree with you there, Luke. Like you say, it was a statement of intent for Lauren to keep him, to give him the number 9 shirt and to make him a focal point. And I think we all expected Lauren Zuniga to be the player that we wanted him to be, because he did play in Segunda the season before. Roberto was obviously playing down on loan at Barca Bay. But as you said, Luke, you can see which one of them has grasped the opportunity with both hands, and unfortunately it's not Lauren Zuniga. So I suppose most importantly, it opens up a space where we really need one, because we've all said this season, that we've effectively been playing with just 2 strikers. We've had 3 available to us, but we've only had 2 to pick from. So this says to me that Lauren is dipping into the transfer market in January, and he is going to be signing a striker of some aplomb as well. Chris, do you think we're going to pick somebody up from maybe Segunda, who is a fairly decent player? There's rumours of, is it Chris Montes from Eldense? Or do you think we should be going for someone that, is one of the top scorers in the league that we're in at the minute? Maybe someone from Algeciras, maybe someone from, dare I say, Castellón or Ibiza?
I mean, the first name you just put in there is Chris Monte. He's the first one that people are talking about. I mean, with all respects towards Eldense, is he a player that will make us better? I mean, Eldense is not a good team. So that's a bit the thing I'm afraid of. If we're going to get somebody of Eldense, or if we're going to get a player who didn't play for half a year, then I think I prefer no one. Because to get another Selesnov or another Buenacasa or another Calle Quintana that gives you 2 goals won't make the difference. You need a top player because you're playing at the top of the league. You're in 3rd position. So everything you take into your team that is not going to make you better, that's only will give you more quantity. I don't think that's a good option.
No, Luke, I think Chris is right there, isn't he? I think it's time to, it's decision-making time. We're very much in a little league of our own at the minute. We've got a good amount of space between ourselves and the people below us, but we're still chasing Castellón and Ibiza, who are kind of not running away with it, but they are ahead of steam. You want to go and sign a striker that is going to score you 20 goals, don't you, in a season? Yeah. And for me, that would be weakening another team around us, maybe going and get somebody who knows this league well, making a bit of a statement, really. But that's not what Malaga are about, unfortunately, at the moment.
No, I mean this is a to be fair, this is one of our biggest Januaries in past time. Last year we were massive, obviously, but this is the season where we need to improve with a better player. Not like Chris just said. Then we don't need players who have sat on people's bench for the last 18 months, etc. Like you say, Nick, let's go out there. Let's make a statement and buy one or two of the best players in this league.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one. Like you say, the January transfer window is going to swing open as of midnight tonight. We've got a whole month to make improvements and to see who Lauren and Sergio Pérez will be looking to bring in.
Are there other positions you guys want to sign players?
I think there are. I think that's a question that Luke's maybe going to ask us in a little while. What we would like to maybe see, but I think there are definitely ways.
Slow down, boss man. Slow down.
There are definitely ways we can improve this side. But that leads us on nicely because Luke is going to take us through a bit of a mid-season review now. Let's talk about what we've enjoyed, what we'd like to see, where we could improve, and what we've thought about how Malaga performed so far in the Primera RFEF.
So obviously 2023 is coming to an end. It's been a weird season with a lot of downs, one big down, but we are now on the up again. I think we're a lot happier Malaguistas now than what we was 12 months ago. And like Nick just said, then what we're going to do is we're just going to have a quick rerun of the first 6 months at the Spanish Third Division Primera. The first question, what I've got for Chris, is so after a good summer transfer window, who has been the signing of the season for you so far?
Why do I get the difficult questions?
You're both going to get them.
I think Monte is the best signing, if you ask me. And if I'm honest, I don't think we had a great signing transfer window last summer.
Nick, what were your thoughts on the window overall to start with?
I kind of agree with Chris to an extent. There's no one in there that you were signing that you were like, oh bloody hell, can't believe we've managed to bag this player.
We had Yoni at the start of the season.
If
we knew then what we know now, I would say no one.
I think the two you've got to look like, and as far as the question, who has been the signing of the season so far? I think for one, Don Alfonso Herrero.
Yeah,
he has been a high class signing for this level. He has been a different level. He's the highest performing goalkeeper in the league as well. So you can't look past him as probably being the best sign. I think round as well. Nelson Monte, obviously, I know he's injured at the moment, but he was a surprise signing as well. He wasn't on any of our radars. We didn't know a lot about him, but the fact that we managed to bring a player who was playing in the top flight of Portugal down to the third tier of Spanish football, and he just stepped in. And he made everything tick around him. It doesn't matter who you put alongside him, whether it's Aina, Juande, Murillo. He just looks flawless as well. So for me, those two.
I don't remember what newspaper, but they called him the hooligan on the pitch, right?
Yeah,
the way he celebrated that goal.
The last minute winner against Atleti B, was it? I think it was.
Yeah, when he's down by the post, he's just like,
a bit gladiator-like. I mean, I've got Alfonso Herrera down. I think after, can we say a tricky start, maybe?
Can we call him Alfie from now?
Alfie Herrera. Not with a tash like that.
No, I was going to say he's going to be Alfonso.
Alfonso. No, be Alfie.
If you think about what Alfonso has done during the season, he's kept us in many games, to be fair. I mean, he had 3 games. Was it the Cordoba, Ibiza, and somebody else where back-to-back made, maybe not world-class saves, but great saves to keep us in the game.
Yeah.
But he also had those world-class saves, didn't he? I mean, there are like 5, like a save, a goal, a normal goalkeeper that doesn't have superpower makes once a season maybe, and he already made 6 or 7 in half a season.
Yeah.
That one where he was flying midair and he just blocked it.
Yeah.
I think it was against Cordoba, but when he just
And then we went and equalised straight away.
yeah, he was just like,
Or the other one where he was here and then stood up, and then in the rebound he got it out again in a less than a second.
that's
Chris,
it.
Chris, do that move again. You've got Chris Marquez breakdancing in front of a beautiful church in the Benalmadena Pueblo.
Yeah, I think it looks more like someone having a stroke. But
I mean, just to add to that, I've got a little note. Were you guys worried in the summer when obviously we was treated very well for 6 months at least by Ruben Yanez last season? Was you worried that we could not replace Yanez?
I don't know really, because for me, Yanez was such a brilliant goalkeeper and a bit of a gem that we discovered last year. Considering we were putting all our eggs in the Manolo Reina basket at the start of the season, I think we were lucky to have him. But I think as soon as those Segunda clubs start sniffing around, you're like the carcass when you get relegated, do you? And people can pick you up for nothing and things like that. And he is definitely worth a punt for Sporting Gijon, especially where they are doing it well. So I was sad to see him go, but I don't think I was nervous about replacing him, because I think the level we were dropping to, as we've seen in some games, this isn't a league of high quality finishing.
No,
Yeah.
no.
But let's be honest. Was Ruben Yanez a whole other different level of goalkeeper, or was
No,
he just,
this is it.
or was he just a good goalkeeper compared to the rest of the team that we had?
Yeah, I think Ruben Yanez kind of took his chance, because if we remember, he was number 2 to Manolo Reina.
Yeah.
And we know how bad he was. It's just Yanez, when he finally got his chance, he did take it, but I totally agree. Alfonso Herrera has been fantastic for us.
We always laugh a bit about Manolo Reina, but let's not forget that the guy had a crazy career, a hell of a career, and he was a good goalkeeper. So that's the thing we're always forgetting, and I think it's horrible for a player to end his career the way Manolo Reina did, like coming back home to Malaga, to the city he loves, and then not be able to be the first goalkeeper. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, you're totally right there, Chris. You are. So just moving on from that. So it's the beginning of the season, guys. If somebody offered you 3rd place, 2 defeats so far this season at the Christmas break, would you take that? And in your eyes, what needs to be improved to take us to that next step?
Well, I think Chris was kind of answering this just before the break. So, I mean, maybe I'll let him go first.
It's a difficult question, because I would take a 3rd place, but I think the way we win our matches and the way we play, if I'm being really, really honest, I think it's more luck than we are in 3rd place, then we really deserve being in 3rd place, because I think there are a lot of moments where we got really lucky, and I think we don't play as a team that is 3rd, because a lot of matches are dreadful to watch.
I think if you'd have asked me, Luke, at the start of the season, would you have taken 3rd place with 2 defeats, I would have shook your hand and then and stepped away and said thank you very much with that.
Yeah.
My fear going into this start of the season was that we'd be very much going down the La Coruña route, where we'd fade into obscurity, we'd struggle, we'd lost players, and we'd signed people that we weren't 100% sure about. We were putting a lot of trust in our youth players who, again, hadn't shown the levels to play at Segunda, had been on loan at this level, but again, hadn't really, exceeded expectations. So I think definitely if you'd have said to me 3rd place with 2 defeats at the start of January, I would have snapped your hand off. Though I do agree with Chris massively and say that we have got to 3rd place with 2 defeats without being impressive.
Yeah.
You look at some of the football that Castellón have played. You look at some of the results that Ibiza have got, who are above us. Even look at Cordoba just behind us. They've posted some, real proper results in there. Whereas I feel like I agree with Chris. We've kind of coasted our way here. We've kind of ended up in this position without really putting people to the sword. We've only really slapped Real Murcia this season. We've picked up
and
some.
I think the Real Murcia game is the match where we didn't play great. We mostly won 3-0. Or what was it, 3-0? 4-1? I don't remember.
4-1.
4-1. Because Real Murcia,
we're so bad, weren't they?
Were
were
so
terrible.
bad. They gave it away. They said, "Go ahead."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I 100% agree with both of you. I agree with Nick. By the beginning of the season, would we have taken this? 100%. We've had years of disaster. But then, like Chris says, I mean, I say it regular on the live streams. It's as if we haven't got going yet. We haven't. Is there one of my questions to ask in a bit is, what is the game of the season in terms of, is there a standout game where we've played fantastically well? I don't think there is. Is there a lot of improvement what can be made? Again, there certainly is, but we are not in a bad position.
No, but we're halfway through the season. So with the players that we have now, if you are expecting that they will grow and that they are really going to go, I have to disappoint you, because we are halfway through the season. Nothing's going to change if you don't sign new players, which will make the team better. Then this will go on the rest of the season. And how long can you continue having this luck of Cordoba losing, Antequera losing? I mean, your luck stops, and we are just not convincing.
I think the
we're
perfect
not playing
example
defensively, and we're not playing. I mean, if you would have a strategy, say, and that's my thing. If you would park the bus and then play counter football, it's a strategy. If you would play really attacking, it's also a strategy. But it feels like we don't have any strategy. I don't really see what the strategy is.
See, I don't agree with that 100%. I think Pellicer is playing a game of football here, which is, he knows how to get a result. That's first and foremost. And I don't think Pellicer is bothered about having a identity to his football, say like Dick Schroeder has got at Castellón. I don't think he's bothered about beating teams 4 or 5-0. I think Pellicer is quite happy to go 1 goal up and then just protect what you've got. And that's the kind of football that, again, you probably see at this level, probably the same that you'd see maybe in the lower reaches of English football as well, like in League 1, League 2, is that there is no guile about your play. There's exciting plays within that, but
it's
you are
a dangerous style of play.
And the more 3 points you post, the more likely you are going to end up third, first, or whichever one you end up with. But
I mean, there are also a lot of matches where you that strategy might work in some matches, but there were also a lot of matches this season where we took a draw, where there was a draw wasn't needed. You could have win. That's the dangerous thing with his style, because the moment you say, "Oh no, we're just gonna score one," but if the other team scores against you, your whole style doesn't work anymore, and then you demand your players to attack.
I think the Merida game is very much in that thing. We were surprised that they scored so early on, and that they even managed to score, considering the form they were in. So I think we've shown we can be got at, which is more importantly. Whereas you look at Ibiza and Castellón, for example, and they do look imperious at times. Don't get me wrong; they have both lost games this season, as many as us. Really, if you look at the league table, we've just had a lot more draws than them. But if you look at how, like you say, Chris, how they have an identity about how they play football, that's something that we don't have. We're just looking to post results. And I think that's something that Pellicer and Lauren have to look at in January and say, right, well, actually, what's the trajectory of the club right now? Because as far as I can see, the playoff situation in this league is a shit show. it looks like a slog. It looks complicated. It looks difficult.
It's
At the end
difficult,
of the
very
season,
difficult.
you've played the best part of maybe 46 games, and then you've got to go into this lottery of playoff result. You don't want to be in it. So if you really have got your eyes set on promotion and getting back into Segunda the first time of asking, they've got to improve the side, get somebody in who's going to score goals, get somebody in who's going to shore up the back line maybe a bit further, and put down a marker and say, right, actually, we're not losing twice this side of Christmas. Yeah. We are going unbeaten and we are winning games. We're turning those draws into wins, those wins where we're winning 1-0 into batterings. We're putting teams to bed 3 or 4-0 and things like that as well. That's what needs to happen. Whether that does happen is a completely different story because this is Malaga. And
it's now depending on Pellicer and on Loren Juarez and Quique Perez to
get the right players.
No, to see what it is that they want. To see to get a goal for this season. If you want promotion, or which is also fine, not get not play for promotion. That promotion isn't your goal, which is fine, and just be playoffs be your goal. Yeah, but that's the thing. They have to, I think, make that decision on higher levels at the club.
I mean, when you look down our results, the thing what separates ourselves from Castellón and Ibiza, although they've lost more, I think they can put teams to the sword. When they win 2, 3, 4. A lot of our wins have been 1-0 wins and stuff like that. The most frustrating thing what I take from the first 5-6 months of the season, if I'm explaining to somebody at work or a friend, we've lost 2 games all season, they must think we are pissing the league, and we're not. And that's going back to Chris's point where the draws have really affected us. And maybe that is our issue where some games we don't know how to win.
I think teams are there to frustrate us, though, as well, to be honest with you. I think we've seen it time and time again, especially La Rosaleda, where teams are coming for their World Cup final, as you said before, Luke.
Yeah.
That Alcoyano game, when we hadn't lost since end of August, and we've been playing brilliantly at home, winning our games. Then we came to Alcoyano, they turned us over 2-0, and they acted like they just won the World Cup. But they
had those. What the horrible kids? Maybe that's what made us lose.
Yeah, we just put us off. We were just like, I can't even look at it. But,
yeah, I dare say that kit was the worst part of the season.
Yeah.
So a perfect time for ourselves to move on to what's your moment of the season so far, guys? Whether it's a performance, a victory, a player, a moment, just what is something what just stands out for yourselves?
Does it have to be one?
No, you can open to 2, 3.
See, I'll get this in early because he's not here to represent himself. But I think the moment that Matt met Kevin might be the purest bit of Malaga football we've seen this year.
Yeah, we
that
felt the
smile on his face and the reciprocation of it as well. The fact that he recognised him as well. You know, you go all the way to Baracaldo, you know, the top end of Spain to watch, a second round Copa del Rey game against.
Thinking about it, Nick, you can actually elaborate on that. So in there, Matt met Kevin. Yeah, he had the Joaquin Gabilondo fan club singing Matt Harrison. This could be Matt's moment of the season.
I think that's what I wanted to make sure we got in there straight away. Is that this? I think Matt has enjoyed this season possibly more than any other ones because he's been able to venture out to more away games, see some some more of Spanish football abroad. It's been able to plan it a lot better. But I think just that picture of Matt and just the in our WhatsApp group as well, just the elation that you felt from it straight afterwards. I think that's better than any diving save, better than any high tam rifle against Ibiza. Just that pure joy for Matt.
Chris, you said you've got a few, mate. What have we got?
Nick gave away one already. That high tom screamer against Ibiza was insane. Coming back from an injury, scoring twice in 2 matches, And then that screamer against Ibiza was just madness. Such an important match. We were losing 2-1, and then Haitam takes it on his foot and blasts it into the corner. It's an insane goal. For me, one of the highlights of the season. Another highlight is Alfonso Herrero, his save.
Yeah.
His 2 saves, actually. The one where he also got the rebound and the, how do you call it? The flying save. But another highlight for me was the olive tree in El Nuevo Mauli. I don't know why. It's just strange and it's beautiful at the same time.
Nah, absolutely.
100%. I mean, one thing what I've got, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper here. For me, the celebrations after Joaquim's goal against Algeciras, the togetherness of the squad celebrating with Sergio Pellicer and his staff after a horrible weekend for Sergio losing his father, obviously. This showed a great unity within our squad, which I think we have seen a few times this season. But them kind of moments in football are bigger than football, if you know what I mean. Everybody went together, and you could see the passion within one another.
This is playing on my heart now, Luke. This is pulling my heartstrings.
I love moments like that in football. I really do.
Absolutely.
And I dare say that is the reason why I think we have been doing so well. The togetherness of the squad. From the outside, it looks like they're.
I think we saw that last season when Pellicer came in. Let's not forget this time last year, we were under Pepe Mel, and we're being told, right, get ready for a rock in January because we're getting out of this mess by the start of February. So we're all like, right, Pepe, Don Pepe,
But then
this is what's happening.
I also think that Pepe Mel with a decent squad. I mean, we also got relegated with Pellicer, didn't we? So
I know, but I think the point I was going towards was that since Pellicer came in, there seems to be a lot more of a culture in the dressing room. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he throws out troublemakers. He's put a lot of trust in youth. He's created, like you say, more animation on the sidelines from his players and his staff. You know, the well-dressed assistant is testament to that.
Wow.
Moment of the season for him, dressed like Dapper Don down at Deportivo Linares away. I think he brings more of a culture to the team than we've had in any other previous manager in the last 2 or 3 seasons. Maybe back to when Pellicer was here the first time. So I think, again, Luke, you're absolutely right. That does feed into the narrative a lot more, possibly why we have got the results we have without playing spectacularly, but there's just that drive to get everybody together, moving in one direction, which is, you know, you can't make any complaints about, really.
It helps. I mean, if the player believes in his manager, the manager shows that player faith, etc. I mean, Pellicer has been some of these players' manager throughout the most important years of growth, etc.
Absolutely.
And we've had some good players this season. So the next question is, I'll start with you first, Chris. Your top 3 players of the first half of the season. Can be new signings, old signings, kids, anything.
Herrero, Roberto, and Nelson Monte.
I don't think that's going to be far off anybody's, to be honest.
No, I think he's absolutely right. I think the one maybe that I would make difference, I think Alfonso Herrero definitely has been up there. Nelson Monte is definitely up there. Diego Murillo, for me, massively up there. From a complete unknown quantity to what he's done in these last few games has been sensational.
But then you also have to have in mind that it's only the last few games.
Yeah. No, well, I think that's exactly. Yeah, I think he's just got himself
like an honourable mention, kind of thing.
And
I mean, the
Manu Molina.
Go on, Nick. Sorry,
I'm just saying Manu Molina because you are
also
waiting You are about to see the emergence of, right, those few passes, just with a bit of rehabilitation, bit of a nice break at Christmas.
And
Maybe he's been in on the training ground.
I forgot another highlight of the season so far. That's the moment
That
where
pass.
the touch of gold of Loren.
Don Loren.
Always be remembered for the touch of God.
we were in. I went to the Sport Direct Radio Christmas dinner, and then we were talking while we were having dinner, and then they asked what was your favorite moment of the season, and they were talking about, of course, about Loren. So I said the highlight of the season is the moment the ball drops straight out of heaven
From the moon.
with the touch of God. Loren controls it, and then they all start laughing because everybody directly knew what moment I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's a touch. The touch will be played for years and years and years.
And there is another story, but there's another story, but I can't tell it.
That's maybe why Real Madrid are paying 39 million euros for Loren Zuniga.
It's the highlight.
I mean, do you see
the only player
Loren
I've got
Zuniga
different
getting a pass from Vinicius, and then leaving the ball straight in the right corner of the goal? I mean, who's better, Bellingham or Loren Zuniga?
We'd love to see it. We'd love
the question
to see it.
you should be asking now. I mean,
we love to see
it. Can Bellingham control that ball like Loren did?
I think there's a certain Alex Ashmore that is a question for him, maybe. I mean, we are talking about one of his mates right now. We are talking about Jude behind Alex's back. I'm sure he'd love his saying this. But just going back.
Let's be honest. I mean, what's the thing with Bellingham?
Maybe a different podcast.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing for Alex Ashmore that he gets to watch Loren Zuniga for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
in the flesh as well.
And he didn't sound very happy about it.
I wouldn't be either, to be fair. I think, like you say, he's stolen a living for the last 6 months. But go on. What about your top
question?
three?
Because I'm interested in it. What's the thing with Bellingham? He became
He's unbelievable.
he became God in a season.
Yeah.
It's insane, isn't
like
it?
Loren did after that touch.
He's just very good.
With Haaland, you saw it coming, right? Did you guys see it coming with Bellingham?
I think with Bellingham, you could. I just don't think he was on much of the radar for Spain. As until the time that
nobody expected. Yeah, nobody expected what he's doing now.
Yeah, even at Dortmund, he was playing in a different position, in a different way, but he was still playing high-quality football. But the way Ancelotti's got him playing, and like I say, this is very much for a different podcast, but the way Ancelotti's got him playing as an advanced midfielder, as basically a second striker, is why he's making headlines. Is why he's gonna.
He's one of the best players of the world at this moment. If he would ask me 2 seasons ago, is Bellingham the new Messi, Ronaldo level kind of player? I would have said, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah, I think we'd all agree with that.
So, what about your top 3 players?
There we go. So, I mean, I've got to agree. Obviously, Herrera has been unbelievable. He saved us a lot of points. And I mentioned this last week's pod with Alex. I would definitely go with Roberto. And I will admit again that I was very wrong about Roberto. The beginning of the season, I wasn't a fan. I absolutely love the guy now. He puts 100% in every week. The goals are coming with him. I think his strike rates are roughly 1 in 2, which isn't too bad. It is showing that he's improving. But the oddball, what I am going to chuck in there is Joaquim Gabilondo. I think defensively and attacking, he's been, after a slow start, maybe the first 3 or 4 games since then, I think he's been fantastic for us. He starts a lot of our attacks.
Or G.I. joking. He's having a good season.
Yeah,
I think honestly,
he's been much improved. I think that's great. But again, he runs hot and cold for me sometimes.
Does he?
I think some weeks he has.
Can you see a lot of Delmas in him? Can you see Delmas in him, Nick? Though, because I mean, we were big fans of Delmas.
I think we've always had that kind of right back, to be fair. And I think, to be fair, Hocking is one that kind of does break the mold a little bit, because whether it was Delmas or whether it was Victor Gomez, we've always seemed to have a bit of a roving right back who performs quite well. I think the only one that wasn't in that mold was what was he called? The lad who put in all the crosses. His name. Juanfran, that's it. He's the only one that kind of hasn't fit that mold at all. And we got, shop of him pretty quickly. But I think he's very much grown into his position as a Malaga player, because we got to remember he has come effectively from a youth team at Real Sociedad B. I think he represented their C team more than he did the B team anyway. So he's definitely improved from where he was at the start of the season. But again, he kind of just throws in a bit of a hick for me from time to time.
Really?
He comes up against a certain type of player, he kind of doesn't know what to do, and I think that's where he gets a bit lost sometimes. But if he carries on with this trajectory, the way he's been playing recently, then by the end of the season, he'll definitely be in the running for like player of the season.
So this one, I think we are maybe definitely going to agree with this, and I know Chris has already spoke passionately about it. So Nick, what's your favourite goal of the season so far?
Hightown v Ibiza. There's no other one that I think the reaction on the live stream when we went shit.
Yeah, celebration of the season so far. Also,
and he hit the griddy as well. He had everything. So there's no.
I think you struggle to find any Malaga fan what doesn't agree with this goal. Like Chris said, there was a lot to this goal. It was a massive point away in Ibiza as well. This were at a stage where if Ibiza beat Malaga, we really was dropping. What I think we would have been 8 points beneath Ibiza and Castellon.
Yeah, 8 points. I remember that. And that was the thing. It being Hightown was the thing, because he just came back after a horrible injury. So that's a big thing. And we all know what happened after with Hightown. Another big injury. So it being a very important goal, being Hightown, and the way the finish. I mean, the goal has everything.
Yeah, barring in makes every goal look brilliant. We got to see Matt Harrison hugging a random old man in Ibiza while drinking beer. What else does a goal need other than that?
It had everything. It really had everything.
Just another question. What we have kind of answered, maybe just a little bit more in depth now, is what do you want to see happen in January? So what is the most important bit of business we could do? Where do we need to strengthen the most?
I think strengthen is probably not the word I would use. I think we need to build upon what we already have. You've got to remind ourselves as well a little bit that out of all the teams in this league, we're the one with the longest injury list. We were excited yesterday, Luke, when we saw the picture of Sangali out on the pitch, finally back in training. And you forget, actually, he's not played a game since the back end of September. And again, he was starting to impress, very much alongside Gennaro and I think it was La Rubia at the time. We've got those players to come back in yet. So we've got strength coming back to the table anyway. Yeah. I think where we really need to improve upon, for me, I think the defence and the goalkeeper are fine. I think there is still a better holding midfielder available to us. I like Gennaro, but Gennaro, again, the same with Joaquin, runs hot and cold. You don't know.
Gennaro's out the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, he's out next 4 weeks because he decided to karate kick somebody in the tunnel.
Which shows he's not reliable. He's not reliable.
I don't want to blame anyone, but if people are happy taking pictures with Mr. Miyagi, then that's what you can expect.
It's part and parcel. But again,
so we are blaming Gennaro's antics on Mr. Miyagi outside Bar Hermanos.
No, on you.
But that being said, we say about signing a player to improve upon him. But with Isa Marino coming through, he's only had a couple of games in there, but he's looked brilliant as well. So maybe we don't need to sign somebody. We just need to, again, put trust into him to go in there. I think the big one, the massive one that we need is strength up top. And that is, first of all, a striker who will play as a striker who will push Roberto to perform even better if we can. But we also need an out-and-out winger to complement Kevin on the left-hand side. I think Juan Hernandez hasn't quite been that. Obviously, we lost Hightam. And again, I get why Pacer is playing Dione over there. I think that's part of his tactics for a long time now. We saw the same with Pablo Chavarria. But I would love to be able to just get more into the box with an exciting winger. Someone like that, Loren from Antequera, would be brilliant at it, just to run at people, put it on a plate for Roberto, scores a goal. Put it on a plate for another striker we might be able to bring in, it's a goal. Put it on a plate for Dione, it's a goal. That's all that needs to happen for us this year, because we make those opportunities. But as Chris has mentioned umpteen times this season, we get into into an advanced position, and then we put our foot on the ball, and we play a backward pass. We get into that advanced position, and we look in the box, and Dione's back in centre midfield. So again, I think that's what we need to focus on. It's going, right, as we said before, we need more goals. So if we're going to invest, let's get a winger, let's get a striker, and really go for it.
Totally agree.
I think our defense is the best line we have.
Yeah.
That's our best line. I also agree with Nick that on top we are missing a few things. Dione is not the player we want Dione to be. And we also have a problem with getting those decisive passes to our wingers, or to our forwards, to our strikers. That's a problem. I also think we lose a lot of balls on our midfield. I think our midfield is a bit of a problem. So I would also reinforce our midfield a bit, and maybe if it's possible, like get this creative attacking midfielder, like really creative, a Fabos. I think that's a bit what's missing for me.
Yeah,
also,
again, really
Fabos
agree
was
with you.
also a bit of sex without coming.
There we go. I think we were all in agreement. What we do need is going forward plans. The defense is great. I think we've got great stability. I personally have put a strike. I've got same as you, Nick, a striker and a winger. Currently, the striker. I know Lauren Zuniga has been terrible for us, but we are a Roberto or Dione injury away from a disaster. We have no sense. We have no strike, and obviously Dione is suspended for Intercity. So if Roberto pulls up after 10 minutes, we have nothing. I mean, other than say a Kevin maybe playing as a false striker. So I do think that a striker is key. But Ochoa, he's about 4'1".
Who?
This is a bit controversial in the Geary Cast now, because some members, Nick, are starting to use bits and bobs of the names.
No, this assault on the Irish identity will not go unpunished.
I mean, what is your problem with Irish people?
This if you want me to.
What do you have against Irish people? We have
I
a lot of Irish listeners.
I have nothing
a lot of Irish listeners. I mean, I think it's great.
Irish cum Spanish man deserves to be full named Aaron Ochoa Maloney. And that's how we respect all cultures, and I will not have it any different. This Aaron Ochoa, no, it is Spain washing. That's what it is. It is Spanish washing.
Guys, this is getting deep. This is getting very deep. So, Nick, obviously, if you ever get Aaron Ochoa Maloney on the back of a shirt, how much do you think that's going to cost?
I will happily pay to have that on the back of a shirt. I will get Ochoa Maloney on the back of a shirt. I don't know if it looks weird, a 33-year-old man having a 16-year-old name
on his back.
But what does he have on his back? It's
I don't know.
Ochoa, right?
I think he's just Ochoa, actually.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm going to ask the club.
Yeah, but he should also have that on there.
Maloney.
You can't make the Irish Times for being the first half Spanish, half Irish player to play for Malaga and then not represent with your full name.
I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't even use the name Ochoa, because you will always be
Aaron Maloney.
Aaron
No,
Maloney.
linked
No, the
after
goalkeeper, Ochoa.
linked after the goalkeeper.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would choose Maloney.
I mean, so what we're saying is basically, I bumped into Carl Smith yesterday and had a very, very interesting conversation about what Chris Marquez will do at the end of the season if we get promoted. We're now hearing that Nick Bell is going to spend quite a lot of money on getting Aaron Ochoa Maloney on the back of the shirt if we get promoted, can we say?
If that's the
I'm
case,
getting a Girikos tattoo
does the
if we
winning
get
goal.
promoted.
And for anybody who doesn't know what we mean by what Chris might do at the end of the season, check out Matt Harrison's latest Vamos Ala. Even Chris looks confused at the moment, but apparently Chris were quite intoxicated at this time.
What did I say?
Oh, I can't repeat right now. It's daytime TV at the moment, remember?
You'll be surprised.
I remember.
Yeah, now you know. Now you know.
Yeah.
Moving on from that.
Yeah, my wife has a problem that day. Can I also get I will also get a Girikos tattoo.
That's a very touching feeling. So,
So what are you
happening.
doing, Luke?
I would agree that a bit of ink could go on my skin if Malaga do, shall we say, win the league or promotion.
Promotion.
I mean, we're all making a lot of promises here, which what could look quite realistic.
Are we both getting the Girikos badge then, Luke?
Yeah, potentially.
No, not potentially.
You're not
yes
choosing where.
No.
You're not choosing where.
No, but you're not choosing either. We can both choose our own.
We are not doing a poll.
No, but you can choose where you want it, and I choose where I want it.
Agreed.
So we have it's a thing now.
We are expecting a bad back end of the season to Malaga.
Do you have to ask your wife first now that you are married?
No.
Nothing to do with this.
One thing I do need to ask is game of the season so far. Is there a game what stands out to you? Just any moment in the game, anything, just that one game where you look back and think that was actually a big game.
I don't think we've had a game of the season so far. I genuinely don't look at any of the results we've had. I think if you used to ask me what's the most exciting game that I watched, I'd probably say maybe the Cordoba home game because both teams kind of just went for it, didn't they? Whereas most games this season, they've been a bit here and there. Yeah. Linares away, maybe just because you saw that whole bank of Malaga fans in the stadium, just in that little step-up area and in the sunshine. You could maybe put that for atmosphere, but I don't think there has been a game this season so far where I've gone, wow, we are amazing. We are, the best team in this league. And I think, that's not a problem. But, I think there's still more to come from Malaga this year, in my opinion.
Chris, do you agree?
For me, it's a personal one because I was working all relaxed and chilling, and then suddenly I get a WhatsApp from a friend who says, anyone wants to go to Antequera? Yeah. And there were hardly tickets available. And I said yes. And then I went to Antequera. So a lot of people couldn't go to Antequera. And it was a lovely day. On a personal level, I got to ask Kike Perez some questions at Antequera. And when you are a content creator, I think these are the things you do it for, to be able to ask these people some questions and to let them know that you are here also. I think that's one of the best memories for me this half of season.
From what we saw, Nick, you looked an amazing away day. Just going on to that, Chris, how did you approach Kike Perez then? Just straight up about I went for it.
Kike!
Did you tell him any strange stories?
I'm here. Kike,
Did
are
you
you
did you
here?
t- did you tie him up or?
I did my bossman voice.
That boss man voice.
I said,
Hey,
"One more
Kike.
clock, Kike.
Oh, not that
Come
one.
on,
Not
come
Bomber
on.
Clan.
1 more clock. Come to me." No, I said, I just went for it.
Yeah,
I said,
and like you say, as a content creator, it must have been a great moment for yourself, even just getting the interview.
well, I think many of us know. I don't know if I said it already, but we were, and that's still a thing I find a bit ugly, if I'm honest, being a content creator. If you're promised that you can interview if you can interview Kike Perez, that you will get an interview in May last year or this year, and you still didn't get the interview with Kike Perez, and you've asked about it like 1,000 times. Um, I think it's a horrible thing from the club. I'm not going to lie about it. A lot has changed within the club, but when you promise something, you also have to fulfill your promises. And I asked him 3 questions because I didn't want to bother him that much. Because also I didn't have the how do you call it, the permission of the press department to post it. So I also had to ask the press department after it if I could post it. Luckily, they said yes. But still, it's a bit of a horrible thing if you don't get that interview that you were promised. And
Yeah,
I've kept quiet too long to not share this. But I asked about it like 1,000 times because I felt it was important not to ask for Kike Perez, but for someone at the club after the relegation in May. It could have been anyone. I said I want somebody of the club to have an interview with us because of the relegation. International fans are worried. You know, they want answers. They have the right for answers because they're also Malaga fans. Yeah. The club told me, yes, Kike Perez will do the interview. I said, it doesn't have to be Kike Perez for me. I just want someone of the club answering the questions and the doubts the international fans are having. Yeah, Kike Perez will do it. He's busy this week, but I'm still waiting.
as you say, Chris, it was a very important time that we could speak to someone at the club. I mean, for ourselves, Nick, being international fans, living away from Spain, it was quite a scary time. Thinking, are we even going to be able to watch our team play, etc. Never mind do the content what the Geary Cast does.
Yeah. Thank God for
So
FBS TV.
I don't know if
God
there's
bless. God bless.
I don't know if there's also a question on your list with what do you want the club to change, but I think, and I'm going to say it open and wide, and I hope somebody of the club is watching. Can be anyone. I want the club to dedicate some more time towards the international fans because they deserve a lot more than the club is offering them right now at this very moment.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Very true words, Chris. And we 100% agree with that. We 100% back that. We do wish the club could do more for us. We understand the industry and we understand where we are currently. It's a hard time, but going back to good times, it's a similar question to what we've asked. But is there a game what stands out in terms of where would you say the biggest 3 points came from? Just to point you in a direction, for me, I say the Algeciras game. That was a big 3 points as it kept the motivation going. It sets us up for a big chase in the back end of the season. Is there any particular game what stands out thinking that was a good point or a good 3 points? I know they all are, but just one what meant a bit more.
Atletico Madrid B.
94th minute winner.
I think that was one of the most satisfying matches I've been to this season.
Were that the first home game of the season as well? I think it was. Big crowd, La Rosaleda, 94th minute win. I mean, we went balmy on the lives, didn't we, Nick? I still remember.
Yeah. Again, most important, I think you got to look at a few of them. You know, that Algeciras game, to especially with the results going our way elsewhere, to be within touching distance of Ibiza and Castellon as well. I think a lot of it has been putting teams that are creeping up on us back in their place as well. So you look at the Algeciras, you look at, I know Cordoba was a draw, but Cordoba were on a mega run at the time. So that was a positive point. I think you look at Antequera as well. Antequera, having Malaga at home. Again, they were in great form at the time, but they just signed Carlos Carmeni as well as a bit of a fuck you moment to Malaga. And we managed to handle that game and put it to bed, and to again keep them at a distance. So a lot of the results we've had, as much as we've managed to come away from Ibiza with a point, we should have got more from Castellon away as well. But keeping those teams.
I also think we should got more from Ibiza, if I'm honest. I think we were the better team at Ibiza.
Yeah. I think we deserved to win at Castellon first game of the season. I thought we were sucker punched in that game. We were well on top, but I think that's what it's been about for us. It is making sure that we keep pace with those two, but also keep everybody else at bay, and very much remind them that this is a 3-horse race, and nobody else is getting into it at the minute. Whether it's Cordoba, whether it's Algeciras, whether it's Recreativo, whoever it might be, it's about airing that dominance for us for the rest of the season.
I think Malaga players shouldn't watch the table. I think they should focus on their matches, and because Elvin will drive you crazy looking down, looking up.
I think Dione said that as much as well.
Do you think that they do? Do you think that looking at? I mean, we all know interviews with managers where they say, "No, we don't look at the table." Do we think that they overthink the table? Do we think that they overthink it sometimes?
Whether they say they don't, they all have social media. They all read the newspaper. They really know what is going above them, what's happening above them, and what's happening under them. I mean, you're not looking at a table. They also, everyone reads opinions, reads internet. Is it a good thing? No, because that's your question. It can be when you're always winning and everybody's saying how great you are.
Yeah.
But in the case of Lorenz Zúñiga, for example, does it help you when people write horrible comments about you?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
It's a hard thing to get away from this era, isn't it?
Oh, I think they all struggle with it, whether it's here or whether it's abroad or whatever it might be. But I think the table comes out, and again, maybe this is part of the culture and things that PSA use it for. The table comes out when it needs to come out. Say, for example, Castellon lose on a Saturday evening, or Ibiza lose on a Saturday evening, and Malaga have got a game on Sunday afternoon. That's when the table comes out. You say this is how
motivation.
It's added motivation to it as well. There's no point looking at it then from their perspective. I think Dione said it much, so they're not taking much notice of it. In the realist perspective, they'll know where they are because they'll know they've lost twice this season.
I mean, how honest is that answer? Because that's the thing I also always have with press conferences, interviews with players. How honest are they? Because I don't think they're very honest.
Yeah,
I suppose we'll never know. We'll never know.
I think they try their best to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys know more than anybody, every player's media trained. They've got to try and say the right things, but we don't always say the right things, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, like, take a Louis van Gaal or a Mourinho. They will say what they think in a press conference. Like Balotelli, although in his press conferences it doesn't always work.
You secretly love Balotelli, don't you, Chris? You do. You always mention Balotelli.
Because I find it the most ridiculous person there is. I've watched every every YouTube video about him and all the things he did through his career. It's just insane. And when you see him struggling with that training thing,
The bib.
Yeah, when you see him really struggling with, it's a real struggle. How dumb are you if you can't put it on, mate?
So we're saying that the striker that we are craving for in the January transfer window would not be Balotelli, Chris? Or would you be?
No, mate, never.
Imagine Balotelli
Never.
signing for Malaga in January.
He's
He
scoring
once set a
goals in
hotel
Turkey.
room.
Why not?
He once set a hotel room on fire for fun.
I think Chris Marquez and Mario Balotelli having a night out down the 24-hour
that's
square in
dangerous.
Madner would be insane.
Nah, that would be dangerous.
So obviously, we just the final question, guys. We've spoke a lot about the first half of the season. I want to jump into the future. Where do you think we will be come the end of this season? Probably more with the right recruitment, I'd say.
There's nothing more Yorkshire than someone saying, we're going to jump into future. We're going to jump into future. They're going to have flying cars. And
What is he saying?
teleportation.
I'll type
Was it in
it.
Yorkshire? You're talking
right.
Yorkshire.
We're going to jump into future.
Remember, we have a lot of northern viewers, Chris, so be careful what we're saying.
I never can go to Yorkshire. People will kill me there. We have a lot of listeners in Yorkshire. They will all come to me like Yorkshire Terriers.
Well, to answer your question, Luke, to be fair, where do you think we'd end up in the future? At the end of the season, well, there's only one thing for it. You've got to believe. And that's the most important part of it. You've got to believe that we will be the first ever Primera RFEF champions / Copa del Rey winners. Celebrate promotion back up to Segunda.
I love that.
Name on the trophies. A bus going down Caldelarios and places like that. Big stage set up in the square. Trophies that will all be there as well. Gary Cass meet up for the trophies. This is still the way you can be. Positive.
Yeah, 100%. Chris?
Well, everybody knows how a massive fan I am. The great respect I have for the Yankee League, for my brothers in America. Amazing. MLA. Love it. Best fans in the world. So, as they always sing, I believe that we can win. I believe that we can win. I believe that we can win. I believe that we can win.
I did not see where you were going with that, Chris, but yes, I believe. Si se puede.
Yeah. No, but that's
Let's
not
bring
as
it
nice
back.
as I believe that we can win. I believe that we can win.
Chris, you're doing that dance again. You're doing that dance again.
I believe that we can win.
Was it
It's
the
like a
Seattle fans that go,
For people who aren't going to watch on YouTube, it's like a Kevin Nolan chicken dance.
I don't know how they dance in America.
Probably like that.
There are people walking here. If there weren't people, I would probably do it twerking.
I can imagine. We all
That's
can
an
imagine.
American thing, right?
And it is only 11. It's only 20 to 12 UK time. So Chris twerking around a very historic Spanish church. I don't know, Chris. There may be a platform somewhere for it.
I got baptized in this church, so I have some credit.
Yeah, well, maybe twerking outside it means a lot then.
It would be different if I would do a stand-up, a handstand twerk against the church wall. That would make it a bit
Please
different.
don't do that, Chris.
As the listeners know better than anybody, in true Geary Cast style, we are ending up with a Chris Marquez twerking upside down outside of a church.
No, but let's be honest. I don't know if you ever tried twerking.
No.
It's much easier.
No.
You should try and twerk, and then you should try and do a handstand twerk. Handstand twerking is way easier than normal twerking. And I hope people are watching this and can confirm it. It's way easier to stand
You
up
need any
to
advice
handstand
for
twerk.
2024. is that handstand twerking is easier than normal twerking, apparently. Yeah. Luke, where do you think we'll end up? to steer this back.
Just plug into the GearyCast. If anybody would like to make a video of themselves doing an upside down twerk, please send it in. But yeah, I 100% agree with you guys. Positivity is key. And I think with the right recruitment, and that's very key, there's no reason that we can't catch Castellón and Ibiza. And we can win this league. We really can win this league. Instead of dropping these points.
You believe that we can win. You believe that we can win.
Instead of dropping these silly points, let's get that striker what can make it regular 3 puntos.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a much important way to go. Well, thank you, Luke, for those questions. I hope you've all enjoyed the mid-season review on the GearyCast here. We have got a game in just 2 days' time, or tomorrow if you're listening on day of release. Intercity away. I believe Matt Harrison will be doing a Vamos A. I can't quite remember which stadium they chose in the end because there was a pick of 3 potential ones, but maybe you'll just do Vamos A Alicante because that's the way Matt Harrison rolls. He's just spent Christmas in England. He's been watching Southampton week in, week out. And now he's flying straight back to Spain to watch Malaga play, which is hell of a dedication. We might have a live stream, Chris. We don't know just yet. We'll see how we're feeling after our New Year's celebration.
I have a question. Are we getting paid extra for doing this on the 31st of on like a holiday day?
Chris, you sort the wages.
Normally with work you get.
It's not technically a holiday day. To be fair, New Year's Day is the holiday day, or certainly is in the UK. You just
in Spain. They've probably been on holiday for about 3 months in Spain.
It's just a constant holiday in Spain, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's a holiday.
I'm not getting paid extra for this.
No, unfortunately not, Chris. Unfortunately not.
Okay. Yeah, but it was really fun. Yeah, maybe a live stream. We don't know.
Maybe a live stream. We'll keep you aware. We'll also bring you. Obviously, want to say thank you to everybody who has supported us throughout 2023.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree, boys, that we've taken to the podcast to the next level. And in 2024, we've got some really exciting plans to announce. We're going to do more meetups. We're going to do more content. We're going to do more football. And hopefully, the big thing that drives all this positivity is Malaga Club de Football. So hopefully, we have a brilliant story to bring you at the end of the season as well. But thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much, Luke, for being here.
No problems at all, mate. Loved it as usual. Just adding to what you've just said, Happy New Year to all the viewers. It's been an up and down year, but I guarantee 2024 is going to be a great one for everybody.
And Chris, live from Benalmádena Pueblo in beautiful scenery. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year to our viewers, but also to our listeners from my part, on my behalf. I know Luke only wanted to wish a Happy New Year to all the viewers, but on my behalf also to all the listeners. I wish you all the best, health, luck, a lot of sex, because it's important for health. I wish you all the wealth, because money is nice to have, but it's not much nicer to spend, and a lot of love, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So have a good one. We will see you in the next year, and big kiss.
And big kisses as well. Yes, thank you very much for everyone for all your contributions and listening in 2023. We wish you from the GearyCast a very prosperous 2024. And like I say, hopefully a big year for Malaga Club de Football. We look forward to seeing you soon. You've been listening to the GearyCast. Gracias, amigo. Vamos, Malaga. We'll see you soon.